Kia ora, good evening, and welcome to the first of two Huddy Huis this week. Of course, this is episode 66, and our guest on the Hui tonight is a product of another great school, St. Patrick's College Silverstream, and he's also part of the Hawke's Bay Magpies and the Bunnings MPC. Joel Hintz is our guest tonight on the Huddy Hui. Joe, many thanks for coming on. Let's talk about your last-minute loss to Canterbury down south on the weekend. What has the team learnt from that experience?
Yeah, a tough game. We knew that Canterbury were looking to really take us up front. We knew that they had heavy ball coming around the corner pretty hard, so our plan was just to try and get some double shoulders on those guys. And I think we actually defended really well. It was just in the last 10 minutes we just let a couple easy ones through, and that's just the game. A couple tries there, and you're done.
Of course, sporting a bit of a shiner. I believe that's not from the game in the weekend. I hear it's a training injury.
Yeah, this is training injury. Hawke's Bay, we love them all, rolling them all, and we're always training that. So, yeah, having to get a few shiners, and this year we've got a few boys with new cauliflower ears, so it's all part of it.
Now, of course, you're familiar to the Canterbury rugby scene. You played your footy down there post secondary school. Tell us about your rugby journey down there in the mainland.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed my time down there. So I went down after college, went down to Lincoln University on a sports scholarship, rugby scholarship. So I was down there and training with the Lincoln Rams. That really taught me what it's like to be in the professional environment. They really sow the roots for what it is to become a professional player. And I really enjoyed my time down there and played under 19s. We won the national championship with the Canterbury 19s and made some lifelong friends, as well as Canterbury Māoris. Really enjoyed my time playing for them, and got a heap of friends down there, and that was good.
And of course, Lincoln University, that is where you have studied. What is your degree in? And tell us about that factory that is the Lincoln Rugby Club.
So I got a degree in commerce and agriculture. I actually haven't used it since I've left, but maybe one day. At the moment, it's a bit busy living the life of a professional rugby player and part-time hunter fisherman. So, busy enough with that stuff. So, the Lincoln factory, man, like when I was playing there in our Prems team, we had the likes of Geordie Barrett, Jack Goodhue, Brett Cameron, Eddie Anari, Caleb Markney. We just had constantly player after player, guys that come down to study at university. It was a bit like, I suppose, like that college football sort of setup, guys are getting brought into the area, enticed by the free education and the ability to be in Canterbury, which is, no doubt a pretty good place to be if you want to be a professional rugby player. So, but just good culture, university culture, young guys with all the same sort of goals. And, we had a pretty good thing going there while I was there. So, I almost felt a bit stinking for the other clubs because, it's pretty hard to compete when you're going up against, 23, 18 to 20-year-olds who are all just in their prime.
So in 2018, you moved back to the capital city and you played 11 games for the Wellington Lions. Tell us about your experience playing for the Lions and the MPC that year.
Yeah, so I was down in Canterbury. I finished university and I was just down there doing a bit of work for a mate, Chad Romano, doing a bit of building work. And then Chris Gibbs gave me the call. At the time, Canterbury was pretty well log-jammed with quality front rowers. And Wellington threw out the lifeline saying, come up, play the second round of club. We'll see how you go. And we're pretty keen to try and get you into the squad if you play good enough. So I thought, bugger it, I'll come up, have a go, and played for OBU for the second round. And we won the competition, which was pretty bloody awesome. And then, managed to get my name in the Wellington Lions and started the first 4 games before Jeff Tumunga-Allen come back, and then still got plenty of game time and played all the games, which I was pretty stoked with. Yeah.
Old Boys University, you mentioned them, the Billy Goats. They won the Jubilee Cup that year, the final, 2018. Tell us about that experience in the Jubilee Cup, because you went up against a very highly fancied opposition.
Yeah, no, that was it was a pretty special game. Yeah, back in Wellington. So yeah, those Norths boys, they really brought it to us. Yeah, no doubt they're big ball runners. And I didn't really want to be running into them either. There's some big solid men. So but it was pretty cool to get a good scrum right at the end and be able to yeah, finalise that game and take the win and enjoy the night back at the Cambridge.
So you grew up in the Wairarapa bush. Tell us about your junior rugby there and who'd you play for?
So back in Masterton, yeah, played all my club rugby with Masterton Red Star before leaving up to Hastings for a few years. I spent a couple of years back here and then came home and played more for Masterton Red Star and went to Wairarapa College for a few years before leaving to Silverstream on a scholarship. So really enjoyed my time back home, you know. Marston's always home for me, and to all my family are. And yeah, I love it back home. It's a pretty awesome place. Like it really moulded me into the certain rugby player that I am. Like back home, back when I was playing, there was big emphasis on being tough and niggly, and I think that's something that I can really bring into my game. I'm not the biggest guy, so I try and bring those little 1% niggles and yeah, try and get into the other opposition's head, and that really come back from all that Masterton rugby where you just got to be tough, otherwise it's sink or swim.
Of course, you mentioned that you're a product of the great school that is St. Pat's Silverstream. Tell us about your time there, and what were some of the key influences at the college that helped you in your journey there?
Yeah, the school was awesome. They were all full of you know, quality footballers. You know, all guys with similar goals. Some really hardworking players. Some lifelong friends. You know, guys I still play with, Joe and Chase, and you know, like Vern and Celicio. I still keep on in contact with. You know, we all had similar goals, and we all trying to strive for that professional rugby career. So yeah, it was good to be surrounded by guys who were keen to train as well as, you know, keep up their schooling. Yeah, some of them were anyway.
Of course, in 2012, you were the co-captain, of course, in Year 12 of the first 15, and you won a pretty memorable final against all odds. And I believe it was hailing rain at the Hut Wreck.
Oh yeah, that game. Yeah, we weren't expected to win at all. We were just a bunch of young fellas, you know, all first timers in the first 15, and going up against Wellington College, who had some pretty big names and a lot of boys in the New Zealand schools team. But yeah, I just think we got pretty lucky, to be honest, with the weather that day. You know, it stopped them from going out to their pretty quality backs, and we were able to get a few clutch penalty conversions, which yeah, was enough to seal the deal.
Now, of course, Wellington College had Nelson Asafo Solomona, who plays now in the NRL. How did you stop him from getting over the try line, because he could not get over the chalk at all?
I don't know, to be honest. That guy's an absolute beast. And I remember playing the following year, and I went up to make a tackle, and he just, like, I went low on him, but he went to fend me with his massive hands. His finger just went knuckle deep straight in my eye and just dropped me. I couldn't do anything. I was paralysed with pain. Yeah, the guy's a freak. Eh?
Did you manage to see last Friday's final when they just drew with Napier? What was your thoughts on that first 15? Do you think they had the potential to go to the top 4?
Oh, totally. You know, there's a quality side there. It's almost bittersweet being an old boys stream, but you know, a local here in the Hawke's Bay, so it was almost a win-win. But yeah, pretty gutted for those boys. You know, we haven't made a top 4 before. It would have been awesome, but you know, they gave it 100%. You know, you can't fault the boys. You know, they're good enough.
Now, there's one thing, Joel, that you got a big claim to fame in, and that is that you're a world champion. But it's not in rugby. It is in powerlifting, and you're a world champion at powerlifting. And this was done while you were at college. So tell us about powerlifting, your career, and do you still do it?
Yeah, so powerlifting is a sport consisting of 3 lifts: the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. It was something I got into during my early stages of high school back in Wairarapa. I was training with the old man at the local gym, and you know, we're short and stocky, so then we were lifting some pretty good weights, and there's some other local powerlifters who spotted us in the gym and told us to come over and have a train with them. Got into it, had a few competitions and went pretty bloody well, and people were pretty surprised at the weights I was lifting at such a young age. I think I was squatting over 200 kilos and benching over like 110 when I was about 15. So got into that and started doing pretty well. We'd just keep progressing, won the Nationals, won the Oceanias, won the Commonwealths, and then in my last year of school, thought, bugger it, I'll go give the World Champs a crack, and did a heap of fundraising, and everyone got in behind me, and I shot over to South Africa with my old man and a few other Kiwi lifters, one of my mates, Brett Gibb from Marston also, and I managed to win the under 18s World Championship for my weight grade. Beat a big Russian guy and a South African guy. And my mate Brett, also from Marston, he happened to win the his category too, which is pretty out of it because we're both from a little town in the middle of nowhere.
So let's talk about the world record that you set. I believe if you add it all together, it is 670 kgs. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's the combined weight of my best squat, my best bench press, and my best deadlift. So you need the combined weights to win the competition, and that was what they call your total, and that happened to be a world record on that day. And I also broke the squat world record on that day with a 260, which was it was a pretty special day for me and my family. It was pretty cool.
And are you the best power lifter in the Magpies?
No, I'm not actually. There's a Huddy Hui Stones. He's an animal. Like as soon as I actually come back from World Championships, I went to just a little local, like an amateur competition in the Hawke's Bay, and Pody was actually there. And he was new to powerlifting, but he'd been training with his old man for quite a while. And he was a year younger than me, and he pretty much matched my lifts. And then when I went down to Lincoln and enjoyed the party lifestyle, Pody kept training. And that guy is like crazy strong. He'd be the strongest rugby player in New Zealand by a country mile, I'd say. Like looking at the weights, he's squatting well over 300 kilos and benching near 200. So, yeah. It's pretty cool to be able to link back with Poe, and we train together and squat every Monday, and it's pretty awesome to have someone to train with like that because I never really had to train with when I was younger. I just kind of trained by myself.
Of course, 2019 you moved to the Magpies. Why was the change, and why did you move up to the Magpie area?
My missus is actually from Hawke's Bay, so she I didn't really have anything. After that Lions season, they weren't that keen to re-sign me, and I didn't have much on, so I thought, bugger, I'll come up to Hawke's Bay and do a bit of work. And then when Josh Sims heard that I was in the area, he said, play club rugby, see how you go, we'll pay you a retainer, and if you go good, we'll keep you in for the season. And I didn't have much else on, so I was like, yeah, bugger it. I enjoyed living in Waipaku. I'm not really a city boy. Wellington's probably a bit too busy for me, and there's a lot more hunting and fishing and stuff to be had where I'm living at the moment, so it kind of just fit in perfectly, and I've been really enjoying it.
And what rugby club do you play for in the Hawke's Bay?
I play for Central Hawke's Bay, so it's just a little country club here in Waipaku, which kind of services the Central Hawke's Bay area, which is a rural area, but we play in the town competition. So every second week we jump on the bus and head on up to Napier and Hastings and play all the town teams, and try and punch above our weight. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
And the Hawke's Bay Magpies, the last 3 to 4 years has been somewhat amazing in terms of the team culture. There's a lot of positivity, particularly within the team, a winning culture about the Magpies. How did this all come about?
I think we just guys coming through, quality young guys who are, a couple of years ago were still really, really good players, but people haven't really heard of them, I suppose. And we were always the underdogs, and we always just punched above our weight, and we just kept the momentum rolling. Now the challenge is trying to, as the big dog with everyone trying to take you down, is trying to keep that mentality winning and every week turning up. It is a challenge. It's hard when everyone's trying to knock you off, especially when you're the Shield retainers. But I think all the boys are keen for the challenge and keen to keep growing and building into the team that we know we can be.
Hawke's Bay dominated the 1960s with the Ranfurly Shield, and since 2020, you have dominated the holding of the Shield. I think actually 2019, I should say. Hawke's Bay and the Ranfurly Shield, you've been pretty tough at home, and you won it off Otago 28 points to 9, and most teams that have gone to the Hawke's Bay haven't come off so lucky. So what is the motivation behind the Shield and the Hawke's Bay Magpies?
I think one of the biggest things which helps us as a team is we have a lot of support. We have massive crowds at McLean Park. Like it, hands down, my favourite place to play. It's the weather always turns on, and the community always get in behind us. We get big crowds, we get a lot of noise, and we just know that everyone's behind us. We grow another leg, and it's finals footy, but we know that we want to keep it in the area, keep it for our people. And yeah, we've been pretty lucky a few times, but we always seem to pull the cat out of the bag. But never say never. Like you got to win it every time you play. You never defend it. You always got to go out and win it again.
Well, of course, you mentioned some narrow wins, and particularly this season, Counties Manukau and North Harbour, 2 games in which, Counties won, you sort of dominated the back in, but in the North Harbour game, you had to crawl all your way back to actually defeat North Harbour. Does the Shield build more tension within the team, and does it add more expectation?
I think the expectation's always there. We want to try and keep it for this season and try and be, try and have it for one of the longest reigns, ideally. But that all comes second. Each week we've got to win it. There's always that expectation, that the crowd want us to keep it there. But in terms of pressure, I suppose it's always there. But come game day, it's just like any other game. You've got to go out and you've got to perform. But when you're at home, it does feel that much better having everyone around you, and it's a pretty special feeling running out, playing at home, and then the Shield just adds to it. I don't know if the boys see it as pressure; it's more just motivation.
Change of coach this season. Mark Orsich moved over to the Western Force, and Josh Sims has stepped up to the head coaching role. Are they similar style of coach, or do they have a different approach? Both of them.
Oh, yeah, I suppose they've been coaching together for a long time. Oz and Simsy, they're little buddies. They've done a lot of coaching together. Similar principles, obviously different people, but both really, really good coaches in their fields. Simsy's a defensive coach, whereas Oz is an attack coach. But I think they both manage the team really well, and they're both really liked guys, and they can take a joke, and the boys pull the piss out of them. And we just have a good time, and yeah, it seems to work. So,
Hawke's Bay, they seem to have a good factory of young talent coming through there. What is the key to these young, talented players that are coming through the ranks?
Oh, it comes from these schools. That's a highly competitive area. Hastings, Lindisfarne, Napier Boys, all these schools. Really competitive kids. And I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I didn't go there, but it seems like that culture's always been there, and the academy helps. We've got a really good setup here at Hawke's Bay. Like it's honestly amazing. The gym, and we've even got like a little indoor track and an amazing field there. So I suppose that's always going to help for player retaining players, and also developing those that we have, and bringing other guys in.
So, all going to plan, you have 3 challenges left in the Ranfurly Shield. You've got the Southland Stags this Saturday, and then followed by your former province, Wellington.
Yep. Yeah.
So, thoughts on the Stags, who have been pretty gutsy this season, and Wellington the following week?
Yeah, so we're just taking it one game at a time at the moment. Our focus at the moment is Southland. They are quite often a bogey team for us. They always bring it. They're a quality side, and we know that. So we've just got to make sure we get everything that we can do get that right. Just control what we can control and make sure that we're ready mentally.
Well, Joel, it's been fantastic having you on the Hui this evening. All the best this weekend against the Southland Stags. We may see you the following weekend for the Shield match if Wellington can somehow try and win. Last time we went up there, ran over a Magpie, and you guys put 40 points on us, so that wasn't too good.
No, that's all good, mate. Appreciate that. Sounds good.
Yeah. All good. So Joel Hintz was our guest tonight. Fantastic career, and Hawke's Bay really have been the form team of the NPC the last few years. So hopefully the Wellington Lions will get a crack in 2 weeks' time. So that's the Huddy Hui for tonight. Join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We have Cam Roygard on, who's the Hurricanes halfback and also playing his trade for Counties Manukau. So that's the Huddy